Started yet? Oh! Been expecting you or something. Hello and welcome to another episode of 3 Pints and a Clean Sheet. It's good to be back. How are we, gentlemen?
Good.
Top of the pops.
That's what I like to hear. Greg, we'll start with you. What top you got on this morning, this evening, the night?
Cardiff City.
It's
Abuse in the comments below. Good win for them in the Severnside derby at the weekend. Recommend anyone who enjoys defenders going in goal to watch the last 5 minutes of that match. Perry NG went in the goals for added time after Ryan Allsop got sent off.
Is it not?
Yeah. It is, but everyone calls him Perry NG because the actual sound, it's like Singaporean and the actual sound's really difficult to make in English. So everyone calls him Perry NG. Went in goals for the last 5 minutes.
Sorry, you got me carried away there.
But yeah, good one for Cardiff.
Good. Kyle?
This is, I believe you've seen it, but this is this season's top.
Yeah, I think I wore it.
I think it's the last week you watched it.
Copy me. I'm joking, you wore this at one point. And I'm wearing last year's. Yeah.
2 years.
Is it 2?
2 years ago, yeah.
Last season
Jesus.
it was pink. Last season.
Yes, it was. Yes. So I'm repping this one.
It's a swap this week. We swapped tops.
Yeah. You can't see below here because it's too small and the big man tits are showing.
I should just swap tops.
Right, Greg, what beer are you on this week? I have a feeling I could probably guess what it is.
To match the Cardiff City top, we've got some SA Go.
You want to try reading it again? Because that's the one you messed up the first time.
No.
Okay, that answers that one. I'll go next, actually. Usually Greg thinks he's the big man drinking Welsh beer, but as a matter of fact, I actually have a Welsh beer this evening. He's moaning, but Wrexham Export, I used to order some crates of it.
Gog beer.
The reason that I first got into Wrexham Export actually was a gentleman called the Bootlegger. He brought out his own Pilsner baby, so I ordered a crate when I was steaming. This big refrigerator, well, it came out of a refrigerator truck. It turned up on the doorstep, opened it up. I'd ordered the normal stuff and not the Bootlegger stuff. But as a matter of fact, actually, that's just as nice, if not better. So I'm on the Wrexham Export Lager.
But we all know that you don't really like the Bootlegger and you actually are just a massive Ryan Reynolds fanboy.
No, actually, I don't really know what's going on with Kyle right now.
There's noises, but it's fine. Been burgled.
For Kyle's 21st birthday, I got him a cameo from the Bootlegger.
Very nice it was as well.
Yeah, we'll maybe have to post that on the Twitter actually this week. I think I'm still
3 minutes long though.
Yeah. Oh, well, we can barely get folk to watch 10-second clips, so
No.
Get watching. Right.
Attack the audience.
I'm not attacking the audience, I'm just encouraging more audience participation, that's all.
I've went back to 2020 with some Corona.
Lovely.
Someone else agrees.
The 5-0 right here. So it's a raid.
Right. So this week we have a few topics. We're going to start off when I get my running order up. We'll see you've got a fish lens. You know, like those things that folks stick on the cameras.
New angle I'm working on.
Yeah, I think it should stick to what you know. Myself and Kyle were in attendance at Palmerston on Saturday with a very good result for the Queen of the South. We're just going to talk about that. If we think back to the predictions last week, I think only one person said Queen's win, which was Kyle. And if you listen, I did swither, but I just thought draw. But oh boy, was I wrong.
I should predict Queens aren't going to win. I should predict Queens aren't going to win more frequently.
You pretty much said they were going to lose though, because you said you couldn't bring yourself to lose, even though that's what you thought.
Yeah. So
I'll tell you what, Greg was not a happy man, and neither was Reece McCabe, but we'll come on to that. Obviously a good result. I didn't think Queens were playing very well up until the first goal, and they kind of got into it a bit more. Shout out to McKechnie, what a finish that was if you've not seen it. It's on the SPFL Twitter.
Lovely finish. Defending is horrendous.
Oh yeah.
The guy who once played for Queens, I believe.
Fordyce.
Yeah, we came to who does Stirling play for? Is that Edinburgh City? FC Edinburgh.
Who?
And Stirling. Is Andy Stirling?
Darvel. Is it Darvel?
Is it Darvel?
Yeah.
Darvel.
Oh, fucking hell. I've gone too early.
McShane palm up.
Yeah, that's probably where I've seen the name recently. Is this a turning point for Queens? What are you first, Greg?
No.
Oh.
I would say yes.
You think so?
You can wait your bloody turn.
Sorry.
Airdrie's form has been pretty gash, so it's not the world's most surprising result. Queens' home form is also terrible, so that is, you know.
Well, Mystic Meg over here didn't get it, so it can't have been that obvious.
It can't have been, but it was, you know, Queens won a game of football, which is the most surprising thing going. That's not going to show as an L on the record because you're reversed. So well done for doing the loser to yourself. I think I obviously wasn't there. I'm not sure how much of a turning point it is. It would have to be a turning point in terms of performance, because we know that Queens' performance is very inconsistent. I did have it written down for the predictions later on, but Queens have picked up out of the last 5 games. Queens have picked up the 3rd most points in the league after the top 2. They've picked up 9 points out of possible 15.
From what? From when? From when?
The last 5 games. I don't quite know when that was.
But in general, I was going to say we would be sitting where we are. I was really confused.
Yeah.
That's what I was. What you want to be? First 8th.
Jeez, you peeps, man.
But actually, like, it just mars what's been a really inconsistent season for Queens.
I think
Bartley's got them playing well. Doesn't seem happy with the playing squad.
I think there'll be a big rehaul in the summer. Recheck,
Okay.
sorry. Haul in is what I was going to say. Obviously, there's a few players with younger ones with 2-year contracts, but there's a lot of folk with it expiring.
Hayton's one.
We were still quite shaky at the back. Hendry didn't have the best game. He's not been in the best run of form. Hopefully, he can kind of turn that round. But wasn't a big fan on Saturday.
Stick to the snooker.
Yes.
Airdrie fans were not happy. I saw it's like Airdrie fan TV. I saw on YouTube they did a wee video. It was like points throughout the game, and it's like I noticed one bit that said 2-0 Queen of the South, even though it shouldn't be or something like that. They didn't think that Queens deserved to be 2-0 up at that point. I thought
inject that saltiness into those veins. Inject that.
But don't do
However,
drugs, so
that negativity continued, and a lot of fans are calling for Rhys McCabe's head. So, is that Queen of the South are good at causing tension, aren't they?
Yes.
Mind, we were not Ali McCoy's last game as Rangers manager.
Was it? I thought it was Stuart McCall.
One of them was.
I thought it was Stuart McCall.
I think it was the game that pretty much called for his head back in the old Championship days.
Maybe sacked Stuart McCall as well.
Probably.
It's
We've been
perhaps a
quite a lot
different
that season.
story now, though. It's perhaps a different story where if you lose to Queens now, then you probably should sack your manager. You know, it's been like that for a couple of years.
It seems a bit fair.
Well, in FC Edinburgh's manager should have been sacked about 3 times over.
Some bloody Watford.
And we're going to beat them on the 24th of March. We will be there at Meadowbank
In the stands against Stranraer, cheering on.
On the running track, singing against FC Edinburgh.
So if you want meet and greet Edinburgh Stadium. All too fast.
Meet and greet. I'll bring my pen if I can get that at the stadium, and we can do some signatures. That'll be the first game since Falkirk away that we've all been at together.
Yep, that went well.
Yeah, well, we're on a good run against FC Edinburgh, or Edinburgh City, or what was it you called? Something else.
Internazionale at
that was it.
Edinburgh.
Was that many?
Yeah. You will get reaction from how bad Meadowbank is when we get there.
We do a live stream, that would be good.
Because we might just live stream it.
Not the actual game where we'll get battered.
Just us.
To be fair, you're filming me doing laps of the running track and then try to catch me.
No, don't worry. I'm not live streaming the game. I'm live streaming us watching the game because we're a podcast. Aye, mate, that's definitely what you're doing.
They're probably like, why are they even live streaming this?
Yeah.
So, do you think McCabe should go? Anyone? Oh, sorry, my phone was vibrating there. The team, what part of it?
Rangers.
15 minutes till kickoff in the Rangers game.
I am not sure if McCabe should go. I don't know enough about how Airdrie fans are expected to do this season. I don't know if you're planning on getting to this, Robert. Rhys McCabe's interview afterwards is an absolute gem.
No, because you said that and I went to watch it and I didn't and I forgot, so I was going to ask you to talk about it. I've not watched it yet.
Yes, it is an absolute gem where the first couple he expands later on, but the first couple of questions he answers with one word and you can tell the rage just bubbling. It's a great watch.
An observation, I think it might have been Kyle that made was that he didn't do as much coaching on the pitch as some other player managers that we've seen this season. Willie Gibson tried to do, because
he's captain.
Yeah, with Gibson, he kind of think he was trying to do two jobs at once: play and manage, whereas McCabe kind of seemed to be better at delegating. So.
Yeah, that's Rhys McCabe also made a very good point in the interview, which I think is good to emphasise given some recent results against Dunfermline, that game that I think finished 4-3. Yeah, so it was really exciting. He said we can't keep allowing sides to score these goals. We can't be going out to score 4 or 5 every week. And I don't know about you, but if I was a Queen's fan and I was, losing 3-2 or winning 4-3, or I wouldn't mind. It'd be quite nice to see some goals for a change.
5
wins a win. In terms of points, 1-0 means as much as 4-3. Not for goal difference. No, to be fair, the same goal difference, but you know what I mean. He's only 30 years old. That's kind of mental.
30 years old and soon to be unemployed.
They're sitting 5th, 2 points off playoffs, so they're not doing terribly.
I think the argument from Airdrie fans is they expected better, but I think realistically with Dunfermline and Falkirk in the league this season, the best you'd expect is 3rd.
I would say 4th. He's at the start with Queen's been there as well.
Yeah, well, I was going to say if that's anything to go by, then Gibson should have been gone long ago, considering we were one of the favourites to go back up.
I want to say the answer is yes, but I'm not sure. Are Airdrie full time?
Yeah,
they are. Because that's the other kind of thing. I know Queens are a full-time team, but it's a difficult watch. We've done it for a while as Queens fans, where you get beat by part-time teams and you think we're better than this.
Yep. Well,
desire.
Yes, I was going to make a point that's completely gone out of my head. No, it's gone. Might come back to it. So, today we are recording on Wednesday, the 8th of March, which is International Women's Day. I thought someone was going to fit.
No, I didn't know you were waiting for us.
Yeah, I was expecting someone to shout the answer.
Women's Day.
International Women's Day, yes, it's a part of International Women's History Month. So, thought we'd just talk
for all you bigots in the comments, sorry, Robert, for all you bigots in the comments wondering when International Men's Day is, it's in November. Crack on.
Thanks.
Thank you for that. Just thought we'd talk a wee bit about the Queen of the South ladies, actually, who picked up an impressive 11. Sorry, Kel wrote 11, but I checked, it was 10.
I thought it was 11.
Nah, 10-0 win against Sturton Ladies, and Kel's put in brackets 2nd place, so team high up in the league. I took. Wait, where is it? I've got.
Please don't tell me it's one of those leagues where if the score is over 10, then it gets rounded to 10. Please don't tell me that that's what's happened and we don't know that.
The Queen's page put 11.
The Queen of the South ladies put second half. Well, at half time it's 4-0, and they put the second half. So Queens continue to move the ball very well and create chances whilst defending well against Stuart attacks. This resulted in Queens scoring a further 6 goals without reply, full time 10-0. That was away from home as well. So very good result.
I think they're bossing it.
Long may it continue. And then while I was on there, I thought I'll go and have a look at another local team, Annan. They drew 2-2 at the weekend with Ayr United Development Team. And I noticed something actually. It's an attendance of 71, and that's a new attendance record. So hopefully, I mean, 71's not a bad crowd. Well, will have been a Sunday, I'd imagine. So hopefully the numbers start to go up with that. We should maybe think of it.
It's on the rise with the World Cup last year.
Should definitely be more, and yeah, I think you're right. I think the Women's World Cup created a lot bigger platform.
With England winning it as well. A local team, not local nation winning it.
Can we clarify, was it not the Women's Euros that England won?
Was it? Same thing.
The World Cup was a few years ago, sorry, yeah, the Euros was last year. Even still, good result for them. But yeah, I think it's something. Yeah, boo for England. Gee, it's fucking on one the night.
Won the women.
Yeah, more the women. Boo to England.
Definitely, something we should look at in the future episodes. But we'll move on.
The Queen's Leagues are unbeaten. Top league unbeaten.
I didn't actually check that. I should have, but yeah. Just with 10-0, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different goal scorers. Megan Hodgson picked up a hat trick, so shout out to her.
Shout out to a lot of them doing bits for Dumfries.
Yeah, it's nice to see a winning Queen's side.
Yeah, well, we did this weekend, but not every weekend.
That's a good way to encourage Queen's fans to go to the women's games. Do you want to watch Queen's win? Go to the women's games.
I definitely think you should be encouraged more because you don't really see much about it on social media. I had to go out my way to find that page. Why?
I could make the league table.
Yeah, no, same here. I looked for it. I couldn't find it. I think definitely it's more publicity.
There's I can't say I've noticed it on social media. Like, you notice Queen's publicising the reserve games a lot more.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Queen's social media has ups and downs, but it'd be nice to see all the Queen's games publicised just a little bit more.
Definitely. So we shall move on to a big result this week down in England, in the Scouse land. Kyle, I'm just going to talk about something if you want to. Hey! Yes, of course. If you're not living under a rock, Liverpool 7, Manchester United 0. Kyle, what's your initial thoughts for us?
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
You seem ecstatic.
What's the time I've come down since? It's a haul since the Madrid game. Or cheerier as well, so can't fault it. Gakpo, Salah, Nunez, heroes.
Yeah, it's definitely an improvement from what was happening there. But a lot of discussion points for that.
I didn't expect it.
Considering Man United have been playing quite well, a 7-0 thrashing is not what I expected to see. I realised that the game was gone, went to check the score. I went on Twitter first, and I thought it'd been edited, so I went on Sky Sports and I saw it was 7-0. I couldn't believe it.
I was expecting like a 1-0 sort of snatch and grab.
Which is usually what kind of happens in those games.
I fully expected a Man United win. Fully expected it. Good form, off the back of the cup final. A way to kind of put the Anfield hoodoo to bed, and it's came to bite them worse than it has done.
6-0 in the second half. 6 goals in the second half.
Yeah, 6-0 in the second half.
So is this finally a case for De Gea to get to?
Yes.
He's been kind of, folk were calling for his head years ago.
Well, it depends, because Dean Henderson, who should be the Man United #1 probably, is now no longer playing it for us because they've got Keylor Navas. So, case for in the summer, if you want rid of De Gea, you'll have Henderson back.
Yeah. I'll say someone else, they always do.
Is he a better replacement? Or?
I reckon he's done enough to deserve a chance.
Because he's a good shot stopper to hear about.
Did really well.
Well, on his day he's quite good, but
I'm joking.
Shouldn't be a case of every day.
The highlight of this game for me was watching Roy Keane and Gary Neville afterwards.
And where was
Roy Keane?
I don't know. I was going to say, soonest, where was Pogba during all this?
I enjoyed.
Making his comeback for Juventus.
I enjoyed Neville telling Carragher to do one. Have you seen that?
There was a lot of Gary Neville quotes, I think, that Jamie Carragher's now got printed on T-shirts.
Yeah, there was a lot of Neville quotes, but like Roy Keane is getting severely underrated in all this. Roy Keane, after the game, it was like someone had told him his kids had died. It was that bad. Like Roy Keane was properly not even raging. I think Roy Keane was past the point of rage to the point of I don't want to be here. I don't want to be
if your teams get
associated
thrashed
with this
7-0.
team. I don't want to talk about it.
That's what I felt the whole way home from the Rangers won Liverpool 7 Champions League game earlier on in the season.
This Rangers scored.
Exactly. Scott Arfield shout out.
He's better than old Man United players put together.
The other thing that's quite funny is the Neville.
Scott Arfield. Sorry, Greg.
The Neville trying to like say, "Oh, I'm not sure if Liverpool deserved to score 7. I think Man United did really well." Like, you know, Neville trying to make excuses for Man United was ridiculous.
Neville.
That's his father.
It is his father.
That's right. Did you ever see that video? And it was like, "Hello, Phil. Hello, Gary." When they do the interview. Right. Liverpool had 8 shots on target and 7 of them went in.
That's mad.
Clinical. That's all you need.
Man United had 4 shots on target and 3 off target.
I can remember any of the Man United shots on target.
Quality over quantity in the shots department.
Someone reckoned that Rashford had his Twitter hacked because his post on Twitter was only a few sentences long. I don't know if you saw today. I saw it on the old social media that there's a photo of, is it Weghorst? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Of Weghorst touching the sign on the way out of the game, and he came out and apologised and said that he doesn't usually rise to stuff in the media, but he was an FC20 fan. Because people were saying he was a Liverpool fan when he was younger, and the only reason he did it was because he knows that Van Dijk touches the sign, so he was trying to block him. But I don't know, it's a bit suspicious because you look and both their hands are next to each other. It's not like one's behind the other. Maybe to watch that for yourselves.
Not there's anything wrong with it. You can support who you want to support.
But it's a bit dodgy going out, touching the sign, and then getting humped 7-0.
And against allegedly one of your big rivals, you don't really want to be doing things that they consider good luck.
I mean, Gallagher was an Everton fan, apparently. Believe it if you want.
Was Gerrard not an Everton fan?
I don't think so. I think that was one of those rumours.
Look at Rod Stewart, he was a Rangers fan.
So was Scott Brown. Harry Kane was an Arsenal fan, yes, heard it all before.
Was that 2 seconds ago? You brought it up.
Greg's a Swansea fan.
Get out. Kyle's an Ayr fan.
And what?
Hale is an honest man.
Yes, he is. I was going to say something about Man United there. Oh yeah, it's great to see after me saying that Man United could probably win the FA Cup and the Europa League that they followed it up with a performance like this. It's good to see my curse still works.
The other thing those 2 competitions
is Bruno Fernandes. His performance in that game, he should be stripped of the captaincy.
I'd like to,
at least, if not sold.
Before you go on, I want to Kyle wrote Disasterclass. I think that was a good way to sum it up.
It's pathetic.
I obviously only saw highlights because I never watched that game. I think, what night was it? What day was it? It was a Sunday.
Sunday. 4:30 on Sunday. The classic Sky biggest game of the weekend slot.
I was away. I was doing something Sunday. Anyway, was there something I never saw it? There was something I read about Fernandes pushing the linesman.
He touched the linesman. I think more has been made of that than what it is.
He brushed his shoulder.
Yeah. If we're going to be talking about things that Man United got away with referees, we could talk about how Luke Shaw escaped a booking, despite making about 7 tackles that were worthy of a booking.
Mentally, he scored in the Euros final. That's what I'm saying.
And then there was another one. Was it the McTominay tackle, Kyle? Was the other one? I remember saying it was really dodgy at the time.
It was the Martinez elbow.
Which I think is a yellow, but it was one of the ones you've seen them given.
Missed that one.
He kind of throws his arm back and it catches him in the face. Again, I think it's yellow, but the fact it wasn't given as a foul. The worst one for me, was it McTominay?
Don't know.
So someone made a tackle in midfield at one point that he was given a yellow card and it probably should have been red.
Can't mind. He passed me too quickly.
I think it was McTominay.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Where does that leave Man United in the league?
I think they're still third.
That's third. And
Are they
Newcastle
still
are fifth.
third? No, Newcastle are out the top 5 now.
Who do they have in the next round of the Europa League? So obviously
Real
Barcelona,
Betis this week.
Betis.
put Barcelona out, which they went from putting Barcelona out to getting beat 7-0 in the league.
Has the schedule finally caught up with them?
Maybe. I get a
Even
few
still,
too,
there's no
sorry,
excuse for losing 7-0.
a few games too late for you, Greg.
Yeah, I know. Why couldn't they have done that the Sunday before? Even then, Newcastle probably still would be waiting to score. Liverpool were clinical.
Another notable English result in Europe this time. Chelsea put out Borussia Dortmund last night, beat them 2-0. What's our thoughts?
Lucky.
Chelsea played well.
I don't know if I've seen it, but seems lucky.
Yeah, I did see it. I reckon they could still be playing, and Dortmund still wouldn't have scored. Dortmund
So
didn't look that good.
some media outlet claiming that Graham Potter's the first managers to get through to that round, but like we were talking about, Greg, Shakespeare got through with Leicester, didn't they? After Ranieri.
Well, you told me that, so I'm not entirely sure.
I know, but if it was going to be wrong, I was going to seem as if we talked about it and you suggested it as opposed to me. No, I'm joking. I did see that.
I think there's maybe a question there as to if Shakespeare was a proper manager then, or if he was interim or caretaker.
No, I think he was
or
interim.
if it was,
I think it was interim.
Was it not Rodgers?
they can get away with it with that kind of way.
I think it was Rodgers in the summer, was it not?
Very possibly.
No.
So he could have been in.
No. Did Rodgers not leave Celtic during the season? Is that not why they kicked off so much?
Was it Club 12?
Hmm?
Club 12 took the job. Didn't
Was he in between?
Anyway.
he? Don't care.
Should have fact checked that. And the other result was quite a hammering actually. Benfica 5, Club Brugge 1. Did you see the Bruges or Brugge or whatever you pronounce it? Did you see their goal?
No.
It was an absolute. It was a
Is that
lovely
the-
strike.
Yeah. It's kind of curl into the top corner.
X the box, he's like curls at the top corner. It's mental.
Scott Parsons
Champions-
going.
Champions League's quite open this year. Benfica, who knows? One of the teams, they're still in it.
Focus in Napoli.
Folk are saying Napoli, but do Napoli have enough to maintain a push for a Scudetto, which would mean so much to them, and a push for the Champions League?
What do you think they would rather go for?
A Scudetto.
I'd say Champions League for me.
No, I reckon winning the league is, huge for a Southern Italian team. Because that's, Napoli have that mentality of we are the South, we represent the South. It's us against all you Northern elites type thing.
Well,
Specifically as well, the fact that Juventus, are kind of out of it after their points deduction. So
how many did they get taken off of?
15.
Is that the same as the last time?
Last time they got relegated.
Yeah, they got relegated last time.
I thought they got deducted first. Oh, good. Right, anyway. So yeah, Benfica doing well. Kel made a point there. Scott Parker's gone.
Has he?
They've been sacked. Smart one where they're on.
Yeah.
He wasn't there for very long.
Get off him.
Where do you think his next steps are?
Somewhere in the Championship.
He'll get a decent Premiership job.
Someone said about getting the West Ham job after
I would sack Moyes.
Moyes.
I don't think I would sack Moyes.
Probably fucking Spurs when Conte goes.
Did play for them, didn't he? Oh, no, did he? Yeah, he did.
Played for Chelsea as well.
Ooh.
Spurs losing again at the weekend, by the way, while we're talking about Spurs.
Don't want to talk about it. I predicted the wrong score.
Oh, Wolves.
Yeah, I think we all did.
I was going to say a Wolves win, but I didn't. I thought, nah, that's silliness. So I didn't.
Oh, aye. That's what they all say.
Shut up. Didn't ask.
No, that's it. You can do the rest.
Right, thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Again, don't run Rob Watson.
We're getting to this quite this week. Any other notable results we can talk about?
Dundee United getting scudded by Aberdeen.
I know, after I believe I said the opposite.
I think, Greg, I think me and you always say the opposite, mate.
I'm great at this, by the way. If anyone wants me to put a curse on their football club, Benfica are probably going to get absolutely hammered at the weekend, or they're going to get hammered in the next round of the Champions League because I've just said they're going to win. Just while you're here, Kyle, I'll throw some shade on Liverpool and try and curse them and say, after the 7-0, if there's one team that should be absolutely shitting themselves, it's Real Madrid.
Did you see him, the Aberdeen striker? Is it Duke? Is that how you pronounce it?
Duke.
No.
Duke. He's been linked. He's been attracting interest in clubs in England, according to the report.
Didn't think it was that good.
That sounds like the standard Scottish newspaper. Pick a well-performing player in Scotland and link them to a club in England.
According to renowned transfer journalist Fabrizio Romano, a number of clubs are looking at, down south are monitoring him for some business in the transfer window.
It won Southampton.
I'm trying to find the
Can he
matches
play in the
here.
Championship?
Nah,
Bournemouth.
doesn't say who, but I definitely saw he was linked.
It's always one of them.
There's someone else
Forest.
that's
They
actually
need
bring
more
up.
players to buy.
Oh, Max Johnson's been looked at by Bologna. I read it in an article. God knows how true it is, but he's been linked. To think that Max Johnson was playing at Queen of the South last season. He's been linked.
Carry on.
You go. That was what I was going to say.
I was going to say my initial reaction, having not heard this, is does Bologna have one transfer strategy and it's sign Scottish fullbacks?
Must be, it works.
Well, they must be fucking scraping the barrel now. I mean, he wasn't horrendous, but
It was at goal for the start of the season and got recalled in January. He's only played like 3 games for them. Level.
Does someone want to alert Bologna about Stephen Hendry? I will fly him there myself.
I'm messaging them.
That's your suitcase, that's your passport, it's one way, your ticket as well, don't come back.
Hey, if Lewis Gibson continues his performances for Queens, you never know. He could be the next one in the production line.
As long as they're playing big money for him, I don't care.
I don't think he's a fullback, really, is he? He's a winger.
He's played wing back quite a lot this season.
Right, Max Johnson transfer auction heads to Italy as Motherwell breakout starters wanted by Bologna. And then also in another one, Max Johnson is set to leave Motherwell, but the Preston North End move looks unlikely. So we went from what are Preston League One?
No, middle of the Championship.
Yeah,
I think they're doing quite well.
Well, Championship to Serie A. So
probably decent moves either side, really. Think about it.
the face battle with Luton Town and Sheffield United.
It's good to know that Scottish players are they're kind of properly getting looked at from abroad now. I think now Hickey done it, and is now playing really well in the Premier League. It must be said, and we'll talk about Scotland squad when it's released.
Ferguson and Doig as well.
Henderson as well. He was a sort of trailblazer in the Scottish foreigners department.
That's true.
He's kind of fell off, but he's still solid.
Have you seen that boy? Is it Doak? Can I pronounce it? He went from he played for Liverpool. Was at Celtic? I'm sure he played for a youth setup. Some of his highlights are pretty mental. He's taking on about 3 or 4 at a time and just like whipping nice balls into the box, and seems an overall baller, as some would say.
I've got a name, a blast of the past. Mount Karamoko Dembele.
Oh, Christ.
Oh, that
he was training with the first team when he was 12.
He's English.
Nah, it was something. It was like
15.
It was like 14, 15.
He's English now.
Well, Waza was playing when he was 16 for Everton.
For Queens as well.
Lewis Gibson's haircut was I've kind of flashback to a certain Waza haircut.
It worked, he scored, so.
Exactly. And if it works, it means if me doing it works, then I might try him as well.
Queens win the league, we'll both shave our heads bald.
No, to be fair,
I will have to shave mine by the time Queens win the league and they're gone.
No, to be fair, you pull your out of stress the rest of the season because it's not going very well. Right.
Be fine.
Will we? We'll just go on to predictions. Oh no! Hold your horses, Robert. Sorry. Goal songs. We're going to look at goal songs. It's something we've discussed a few times, but haven't actually created a segment for it. So, as we all know, there's many memorable goal songs. So we picked a few each, I think, and we're just going to name some what we think is the best. It was meant to be one each, but I couldn't decide on a few. Right, Greg, do you want to start us off?
I mean, I'm sure I've mentioned this before, but the one that kind of resonates with me is the Dario G remix, "The Ring of Fire," because it was the one played when Queen scored in the Scottish Cup final at Hampden. So that one kind of resonates with me.
I'm going to fire in here. I have another Dario G song on my list.
Oof.
I bet you'll never be able to guess what it is.
No, I only know one Dario G song.
Carnival de Paris.
Oh, is that Dario G? The best bit in that's the bagpipes.
Oh, too right. Rolling it back to the Euros a few years ago, a certain Northern Irish cult song, Mr. Will Grigg. I've got "Freed from Desire" written down because it seems to have
Stolen from Newcastle. Stolen. Newcastle had it first. It was Metro's on Fire first before it was cool.
That's why it wasn't cool. Metro's on Fire. Well, that anyway. I've wrote that down. There's a song that I think is the best of them all. Actually, it gets played when a certain team win. It's "I Got a Feeling" by the Black Eyed Peas. It rings out. It rings around Palmerston, and I can confirm that it still gets played because it was played on Saturday. Because me and Kev both looked at each other and went, as it was about to happen, and all you heard was the dun 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 dun. Quite enjoyed it.
And it is synonymous with a trip. I was going to say synonymous with the trip to Palmerston, but not hearing it. It's also synonymous with the trip to Palmerston because they always lose.
To be fair, knowing how Queens do their media and everything else, they'll probably fucking play it anyway.
Still playing it now. Don't turn it off.
Newcastle have started playing a "Moving On Up" by Primal Scream when they win, which is quite a rogue choice, but I think quite a good choice. It's a good song.
Well, you get some teams who play fake fan noises. That really winds me up.
Queens.
Like Queens.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. They've stopped doing it as much.
I hope Queens stop playing screamo music whenever they score.
I'm sure they used to have a song that it was like when we were in League One and it was like a pure metal song and it was like "The South Will Rise." No one else remembers it, and I don't know if I dreamt it. So any Queens fans listening, if you can remember that song, please give me a shout because I feel like I'm going mental.
Alternatively, if you'd like to write that, we'd be very interested in hearing it.
They used to play like a wee a goal song, like a "Go dun 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 dun."
No, that's what I'm saying. They still do that.
That's what they do. That's what we criticised.
I like that.
Goal scorer for Queens, number 27, Lewis Gibson. Sorry, I did that wrong actually. He never even said his number on Saturday. He just said goal scorer for Queens, Lewis Gibson. Right,
one of the other ones I was going to mention was Maria, which I think Rangers do now, the scooter.
Yeah. Well, it depends who scores. It's if Tavernier scores, they usually play that. But like some Morelos, they used to play Banana Splits,
Yeah.
Just sing Alfredo, but used
to
sing
the Maria one. I was going to say was the team it reminds me of is Gladbach.
I was going to say Gladbach.
Yeah, Gladbach don't even play it. They just kind of, once they've announced the goal song, they just kind of play scooter going da da da, and then the fans sing the rest. Which I think that's one of the best things for me about goal songs. Ones that the fans actually sing instead of like Norwich plays Samba de Janeiro and it's kind of a cult classic. But how much do Norwich fans actually sing it?
I can't sing. You can barely speak English. Does Bayern Munich not play the can?
I don't know if they do. Someone in Germany does. Bayern were always Seven Nation Army.
Someone plays the can. Let's imagine everyone in the stand doing that.
Yeah. There's one, I think it's Frankfurt, that's pure classical music as well. German goal songs are the best goal songs. So it also includes Werder Bremen, who play 500 Miles.
Borussia Dortmund's is that song, I can't remember what it's called. It's like
it's Go West.
No, that's it.
It's Borussia Dortmund have sang lyrics over Go West by the Pet Shop Boys. There's another really good one as well that's not coming to me.
I didn't the Bundesliga can't give it Emre Can. So
that's not helpful. I want to say it could be Mainz. is the team that's came to my head, or Augsburg. It could be one of them two, but I don't know why I think that.
I don't know. Maybe need to look that up for next week. And if anyone knows, please comment down below.
I'm
In
going to find
terms
this. I'm going
on
to
Yeah, I'm going to
FIFA,
find it too.
on FIFA, the Atletico Madrid song they come out to, it's pretty cool. They've obviously recorded it, and the fans are pure screaming it, but it's in Spanish, so God knows what it says.
Oh, I don't
Any
know.
arcade, anyone?
No.
Celtic Park. Just can't get enough.
Boo! I hate Depeche Mode.
I think the Saturday's version. Oh, Greg, kick off in the Champions League. Me v you, Bayern v PSG.
Yeah, the good news is that PSG should be going through that, but we don't have Neymar. Be interesting actually if Bayern go out tonight, as people kind of expect them to. Actually, maybe not. Maybe people expect PSG to go out.
Bayern are winning, aren't they?
Yes, actually, but surely PSG have too much for them. I don't know.
Bayern are at home as well, so I wouldn't be so sure.
Maybe not. Maybe I'm just too confident in my pick of PSG. They've got no Neymar, which probably might aid them.
No team has Neymar past this part of the season.
He's a myth. Also, it's 1-0 Hibs.
Is it?
Yeah.
Jesus. Jeez, you peeps, man.
I don't know if you can see that as well. 1-0 Celtic. 1-0 Hearts against Celtic.
Connor Goldson goal.
Oh, I just got the can there. 2 seconds.
Andy Halliday assist for Hearts.
Don't play it because I don't know if we'll get a copyright strike.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying not to. I'm just trying to work out which one it is.
Just mute your mic. I don't want.
Oh, is it Bayern that play the can now?
I said that. Sorry, ignore my plaster.
Bayern have definitely changed that. Bayern used to play Seven Nation Army.
Marcel Sabitzer.
Off to Man United.
Only alone.
You want to do the can
Apparently
for
they've
us,
got an
Mike?
option. What?
You want to do the can for us?
No. Again, so weird. Why would you do the can when your team score? Queens fans barely cheer. You occasionally get a golf clap.
There's a Donny with a drum who just doesn't use it.
I enjoy the. That's the.
I do want one of those. I really want one of those.
Nah, you're right.
I'm gonna go half on that drum.
Do you have any suggestions, Kyle, or were they just the same as ours?
I don't know any, so.
Fair enough. Right, we'll move on to predictions, Greg, if you're okay with that.
Yes. So last week, slightly higher score week again. Robert scored 4. I scored 5. Kyle scored 6. Notably, all of us predicted Hearts would beat St Johnstone, and all of us that Dundee would beat Cove Rangers, and all of us that Montrose would beat Clyde because they are pish. Moving into this week, slightly different format this week is Robert's pick of the games. 1 Scottish Cup tie, 1 Scottish Championship game because it's the only one on, 3 in League 1, 3 in League 2, and the usual 2 wildcards. Game number 1 is the Scottish Cup game. It is Hearts versus Celtic. Celtic have won both games against Hearts so far this season. With
Not tonight.
Domestic record. No. Hearts are on a stuttering run and have lost to Rangers and Motherwell in recent weeks.
Celtic.
As much as I want Hearts to win, I think it's going to be a Celtic win.
I think we can all kind of agree that. And the only game in the Championship, Morton versus Partick. 4th versus 5th, Chris Dillon has revived Partick. They are 4 unbeaten since Ian McCall left. Morton lost ground to Ayr on Tuesday night.
Draw.
You've gone for a draw. I've gone for a Partick win. Morton have been in good form, got beat by Ayr. I think Partick in good form should do it.
I'll go Morton then.
Morton, 1 for each of them. Into League 1, 3
fuck
games. Some important mid-table games. First one is Airdrie versus Kelty. That's really not helpful. Airdrie versus Kelty. 5th plays 8th. No wins in 4 for Airdrie after their loss at Palmerston. Luckily, Alloa lost as well. Kelty's loss to FC Edinburgh ended 2 unbeaten for them.
I think Airdrie did look quite decent, I thought, so I'm going to say Airdrie.
I'm also going
going to say
Airdrie.
Airdrie. 3 Airdries. Other game is Clyde versus Coon of the South. That's 7th place. 9th Queens have the 3rd best form in the league. Looking over the last 5 games, as I've mentioned already, one of Clyde's 3 wins this season was against Queens on the opening day at Palmerston. I am going for a Queens win, which means they won't.
Can't do the queue. Queens.
I'm going for A for the away team.
A for the away team. Thank you. Other game in League One is 3rd versus 4th, FC Edinburgh versus Alloa. 3 points separate those sides. Edinburgh with the fewest draws in the league. 2 wins for Edinburgh this year and 1 for Alloa.
Edinburgh.
Edinburgh. For
Draw.
Kyle, I'm going for a draw. So is Robert. And 3 games in League Two. First one is Albion versus Stranraer. Stranraer are 5 points ahead of Albion and Bonnyrigg at the bottom of League Two, but have conceded the most goals in the league. They have obtained 6 points for a possible 15. Albion have obtained only 3.
Draw.
I'm going for a Stranraer win.
×2.
Times 2 for Stranraer wins or draws, just to check.
Stranraer.
Will you moan, Stranraer? Another game in League Two is topside Dumbarton against Forfar. Dumbarton beat Stranraer away on Saturday to restore a 5-point gap at the top. Though Stirling have 2 games in hand on them now. Forfar's good run that came to an end at the hands of East Fife at the weekend after me predicting a 4-4 win.
Just add it's 1-1 Rangers.
Lovely. It will be finished by the time people watch this.
Dumbarton.
I'm going Dumbarton and all.
I'm also going to Dumbarton.
Not them families you called them last week, was it?
Thank you.
For any of our eagle-eyed listeners, because one of them did notice and it was him that told me.
I don't think they need to be eagle-eyed. I think they need to be eagle-eared.
You can watch it as well.
A 0-0 win.
That is a classic.
That is a classic. Other game in League Two is Stirling versus Bonnyrigg. So Stirling chasing down Dumbarton, as I mentioned. The game between them will be crucial, but has been postponed tonight due to a frozen pitch. Stirling remain unbeaten this year. Bonnyrigg level on points with Albion at the bottom, but beat Elgin at the weekend. I'm going for a Stirling Albion win.
As am I.
S for Stirling.
It's backwards on here, mate. That's better. 2 wild cards this week, chosen by Robert. First one in La Liga is Real Madrid versus Espanyol. Madrid lost further ground to Barca last week after a draw against Real Betis. Espanyol are down in 13th and lost to Valladolid last weekend. I'm going for a Real Madrid win.
I'm also going for the team from Madrid.
Los Blancos.
Los
I
Blancos.
was going to call them the Madridstas, but I don't know if that's what they're actually going to call.
Yeah. Madridista.
The last game is in Serie A. It's Empoli versus Udinese, which struck me as a rather odd pick.
They're wild cards, so I just literally went Serie A and went.
It's a mid-table
That's the game
battle in
I can-
Serie A. Both teams are in absolutely shocking form. Udinese have won 3 points out of their last 15. Empoli have won 2 points out of their last 15. 4 points separate them in the league, and it is the teams with the most and second most draws in the league. I'm going for a draw.
I'm going Udinese.
You're going Udinese?
Empoli.
Empoli.
Is it Di Natale that plays for Udinese?
Yeah. We did about 10 years ago.
Ah,
And it's now
Played.
just used as a
Past
farm
tense.
for Watford players.
Granada.
And Granada. All owned by the Potsos. They probably should just cycle managers a couple of times a year.
I think we do.
Watford, of
Probably
course,
could.
hiring another manager in Chris Wilder.
Seen that. Good on
he
them.
does a good job.
Dispensing with Slaven Village. That is the end of the predictions for this week.
Thank you, Gregory. Thank you. So that brings us to an end for this week.
So
Hope
one
he's
more.
got something.
One more segment.
Oh,
You can join me this one. The Bovril. Had a Bovril on Saturday.
Oh, I forgot about this. Sorry.
So,
I did have a Bovril.
We're bringing back
Do
a fan favourite series,
we set the
How
scene?
was it?
We set the scene.
if you want.
So we walk up. Hell, he owed me, so I paid for the last lot. So he paid for this lot.
We'll walk up.
Could I have 2 pies and 2 Bovril, please?
She looks
Could I
down.
get it? She looks down. She goes, okay. Goes and gets it. Comes back. 2, not polystyrene, but paper. You know, the paper coffee cups. And hands over. Just watch they might need a bit more water. They're quite strong. So we go, okay, right. So Kyle goes, I'm going to try it just to make sure that maybe I do need a bit of water. And I went, no, don't be silly. Me and him are both weaklings. We can't drink it straight from the boiling tap, so we have to take it back and just take what we were given. So we got back, had our pies, which were undercooked at best. Yeah, they needed new suppliers. Anyway, Kyle was first to try it. What was your review, Kyle? Sorry? Salty. That's all I heard for 20 minutes.
Salty.
It's a bit
Like
salty. It's a bit salty. Finally a bit quiet. It's a bit salty. But it's nice, but it's a bit salty.
It was. I'll stand by.
Anyway, I'm giving it a 7.
Yeah, 7 seems a bit fair. Flavoursome, but salty.
See when we've learned how to do like wee animations and stuff, we could have a wee Bovril cup flying across the screen.
Salt. Go for 4 fingers.
I would say, despite my discussion of the game and my Cardiff top, I was not at the football on Saturday. I was away being a Tory at the rugby. I had a Guinness and it was delightful.
Salty.
Right, we'll just end that there. No, I'm joking. I had a try a Guinness the other day for the first time.
I tried a Guinness for the first time last month and now I can't get enough of them.
It's like Celtic.
On that note, I think it's time to end.
Yeah,
so we have got through this whole podcast without calling Josh Ray a rat. So let's say Josh Ray is a rat.
I was going to bring it up. Oh, I've got another story time for you, Ray. If you're enjoying these descriptions, if you think I should bring out an audio book, please let me know. So picture in your minds. Close your eyes. It might help with the visualization. So the ball goes in, it hits the back of the net. Bearing in mind that it's me, 2 of our associates, and Kyle, right? So I grab one of said associates. All I see is a dash of light. Kyle bounds down to the front along with another associate. I don't know if we should name drop them. I don't know.
No, better not. Just
yeah, I think they'll be annoyed that you've not called them pals, but yeah, fair.
Nah.
It's a bit strong.
Anyway, they've ran down, and all I can see is 2 bodies leaning over the barriers, 2 lots of legs kicking up in the air, and 2 lots of hands. That's the Josh Ray. It's Josh Ray standing there like this. So it was quite enjoyable, actually. At the time, I was asked why I didn't go down the barrier. I said there were too many people at the front, and I didn't want to be standing at the back going like this. So I stayed up in the terrace. So that's all we've got today for your visualization. Come back next week
and for the podcast.
I can tell more stories. Yes, thank you very much for listening. Yeah, catch you next week.
Absolutely, we've got a night out, so that'll be more stories.
Oh yeah. We'll come back. Sorry. Yeah. So we'll make another story. We're going to Glasgow this week. Greg's not. Sorry.
Lol.
Sorry. No.
Yeah. Me and Kyle are. So we will keep you updated on that. It'll probably be on the old Instagram.
There are plenty of stories to follow. Like we'll have something to share.
Yeah, we've never really started on the last few Glasgow stories, and there's a few belters. Or Stirling, actually. Yeah, I haven't told that story yet. Save that for another week. If we get how many likes do we usually get?
50
So
subs.
if we get 20 likes on the next video, I'll release the Kyle being a thief story.
To go to jail.
20 likes, you've heard it. Yeah, I want 20 likes. And no, I'm not releasing that information.
On this video.
Yes, it has to be on this video. Right, see you later, thank you.
See ya.
Bye.
Peace.